Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host for the Leaders of Heart podcast. Today, I have my good friend David Nicolucci. David is a very interesting character. Is a highly after-sought speaker, expert on Amazon PPC, but also has a very interesting passion in life. As David likes to be called, he says he loves transforming his passions into business opportunities. He's been living around the world. He has is had a very interesting life so far, full of experiences. So Davide, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me here.
Awesome, man. So for people that don't know you, who's David? What's your story?
Uh, all right. So
Start
my
from wherever you want to
story.
start.
All right, let's start. My name is Davide Nicolucci. I come from Italy. I tell my story quite a lot of times, but yeah, let's do a short summary.
Mhm.
I mm, I actually started working in digital marketing when I was young, even before graduating. So I studied communication and business. Actually, okay, let's approach it in a different way. I At one point in my life I watched the movie, when you're young and you're deciding what you have to do in your life, what you want to
Yes.
do. First I wanted to be an architect, then I wanted to be a designer, and then the movie that changed my thoughts was What Women Want, with not
Okay,
now now
I'm
you already
okay with it.
understand. Yeah, of course. Now you understand already a big part of it. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, What Women Want. So that guy, the main actor, I can't remember his name. You remember the name of the actor?
I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna look it up. One sec. So keep
All
talking.
right.
What
Yeah.
women?
So the main actor, it was an advertiser,
Do
right?
you remember around
So
what year that was roughly?
can't remember, but What Women Want, you will find it for sure. The main actor.
Okay.
By the way, there is a sequel, What Men Want, also.
Oh,
That it's a similar, concept. The main actress, she's a
okay.
lady, of course. She's a black lady, and the movie is so funny.
Is it with
So
Mel Gibson and
yeah, Mel
Elaine
Gibson.
Fox?
Yes, yes, yes.
The
Yeah,
year
Mel Gibson.
2000.
So
Okay.
Mel Gibson is this advertiser that has a very strong connection and emotional quotient and emotional intelligence towards people, because he can, read what women want. Actually, he can listen to, he can hear their thoughts. And I thought that the life of an advertiser and marketer was very interesting. And at that time, when the movie came out, advertising was like, wow, the new thing, like the digital marketing there is right now, pretty much like being an influencer, the cool stuff. And I remember that also during those years, I stumbled upon an interview, a written interview in a newspaper, and I was reading about this guy in Italy somewhere, because I come from Italy. And that guy, he described himself as working as a marketing manager or director in the daytime, and he was also a DJ in the night. And I mean, I
Mm,
always had this passion for music. I started making music when I was 16, bro.
wow.
Started, yeah, very young age. I also produced some music. So my dream was to combine those two things. So I focused myself into, first of all, making the first of those two passions very profitable,
Hmm.
that could actually give me an international exposure with my career. So I focus 100% on marketing. So after starting working for different companies as marketing manager, then marketing directors, and I moved in China, I started working with Amazon sellers. I put on the side music completely.
Okay.
I didn't make any track, any composition. I didn't do any DJ gig at all, because I was just focusing 100% into building my empire, my consulting agency, into building my network, also to financially be independent, and it's been paying off. And I promised myself that at one point I would get back into that passion. So right now, since less than a year, I started again doing some events and DJing, and probably also later on I will do again music production. So this is where I am pretty much. I am a professional into Amazon FBA sellers consulting. I own an agency that is Amazon advertising partner. Since 2018, we launched in Hong Kong. So I think it was the first agency for Amazon sellers in Hong Kong. after me having personally 2 years of experience in house with Chinese sellers, right, working in their companies in China, and having around 11 or 12 years now of experience in digital marketing. So this is pretty much who I am, what I do from a different perspective. So, and I think I pretty much never disclosed those, details of what women want in that interview. But, I think we are shaped by something that we realize that we want to be, or we feel like not not jealous of, but we feel we want, we you hear something, or you hear a person speaking, and you say, damn, I want to be like them, or this is what I would be jealous of. For example, let me give an example. I love to travel. When I started using first couch surfing, you know what couch surfing is, right?
Yes, yes.
Great. So I was hosting people from all over the world. And at that point, when I was 25, I was working in Milano. I was hosting people in Milano in my house. And I was hearing those travel stories of people who have traveled around the world. And I thought, damn, I want to do the same. Like, seriously, I'm not satisfied until I do that. So after I quit my job in Barcelona, I took a gap here,
Wow.
and before moving to China, I actually was traveling around the world because I wanted to do that. And it didn't matter that I became completely broke because I spent all my money traveling in that year. And then yeah, so this is pretty much, these are the experience that have shaped my life. So yeah, I'm a professional in digital marketing. I also have a very big passion for music, and I'm actively, doing that. And yeah, I consult Amazon sellers. I'm quite active now in the Amazon consulting space. So this is pretty much what I do, and I love to travel, even though right now you can't really travel a lot. But yeah, hopefully
So
later.
I'm curious to know what took you initially to China. Was it the adventure, or did you want to get into the e-commerce field before coming to China, or once you came to China, then you realized, wow, there's a massive opportunity for e-commerce in China. Tell us about what took you to China.
So I was in e-commerce already.
Okay.
I had been working in Germany, Spain, and Italy already for a few years before moving in China, and I knew that e-commerce was my direction.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, so after my experience in Barcelona, when I was asked for, to get back to Italy, I decided that I would not take this chance to go back to Italy, but I would instead take this chance for traveling around the world. And that's what I did. I took all of my savings. I rented out my apartment in Barcelona on Airbnb. So I was making money on the side to sustain myself. And I was traveling around the world for this almost 1 year that I took as a gap year. Then why China? Because I literally fell in love with Thailand, where I live right now. So also that, I had this vision that I would be in Thailand some point. I was looking for a job in Thailand, in Singapore, and in main Asian cities such as Shanghai and Hong Kong, but I couldn't find anything. Bangkok was impossible. Singapore was impossible. Very high barriers to enter, And yeah, I got this opportunity when a headhunter suggested me to try with Shenzhen and Guangzhou. And I remember it took me 3 months to find nothing around Asia, and it took me just 1 or 2 weeks to land a good job in Shenzhen. And that's how I started working with Sun Valley Tech, that is still one of the main sellers on Amazon from China. So that's how I got into China. The thing is, Amazon was something new for me because I never had, even bought anything on Amazon by before 2014. So I had no idea how Amazon SEO worked. And but this didn't really matter for my employer. They just wanted someone who was able to speak a lot of languages, to know about digital marketing, social media. That was me. So they hired me, and I started learning about Amazon. So this is how I got into this world of Chinese Amazon sellers.
Around what year was that?
2014.
Oh, wow. In the early days of Amazon. Wow. Perfect time to get into Amazon.
Definitely, yeah.
What would you say was the biggest difference? Sure, Amazon ecosystem has completely changed. So back in 2014, 15, what would you say from then are the biggest changes in Amazon compared to now?
Well, there's a lot more sellers right now. There's a huge competition, and there is a lot more money to be made on Amazon because, as we always say, you might get a smaller piece of the cake, but the whole cake is much larger. So that's how it's working. There are more controls, there are more restrictions. Amazon is getting much, much more serious and compliant to a lot of regulations. It is becoming more serious. It is a 100% a serious business that every seller should approach as a serious business. There is more attention towards brands. So you have to be brand registered. You have to approach this business as a brand business. You have to be trademarked and then register your brand. So you have to do things seriously. There is no more resellers on Amazon, for example, or selling cheap items, just put a label on them or not even put a label. So those things are definitely changed, and the selling platform has evolved dramatically. Even just by looking at PPC, we didn't have those matches before. We just had keyword. That's it. All the tools that you have available as a seller, deals, automatic placements and deals, and you can decide before. You need the help of an account manager to do that. All the reportings, all the information, statistics, brand analytics, PPC reports, all of those things. So it's much more serious right now. It's way better, definitely. And the other platforms right now, for example, Walmart, are exactly like Amazon was, a couple of years ago. They're still evolving.
Mhm. So you mentioned that right now Amazon is a lot more competitive, and also a lot more people are buying on Amazon online right now because of what's going on in the world right now. So looking in the future in the crystal ball for the rest of 2021 and beyond, how do you see the e-commerce and Amazon game moving along? Do you still think that it's a good time right now for someone that's considering getting into Amazon and e-commerce, or is it too late for them? They've missed the boat. They should have started in a few years ago. That's what we always keep hearing, that oh, Amazon is saturated now, it's too complicated. What are your thoughts on that from someone that has been in the game for a long time and someone that has actually lived and worked with big sellers from China?
I I would say that we had the same question back in 2018. And if we are still asking, yeah, if we're still asking the same question in 2021, it means that this is not the end.
Mhm,
And of course, if any big brand wants to approach Amazon, of course they would welcome them with open arms.
mhm.
And Amazon is just providing all the tools for brands to sell products on Amazon. Now it's really hard to find a big brand that is not already on Amazon, unless it's a corporate choice because they don't want to be there. And we could name some, but I'm not going to do it here right now. Or maybe some brands, they either don't want to be, or they pull off Amazon because they don't believe that their products are a good fit for that. But still, Amazon is home for millions, billions of users probably. So yeah, this is something everyone should look into, and I don't think it's too late. The fact that there are more barriers should be seen as a positive thing, because there are more controls, there are more restrictions. Everyone should be compliant, so I think it's a good thing. You want to get into Amazon, that's great. Play by the rule of the game and just do your best and see it as a real business.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. And I was just reading some stats a few days ago that despite Amazon and e-commerce booming, Amazon in the US alone accounts for almost 70%, if not 80% of all transactions online. But if you look at the even bigger picture of all the global commerce, online sales and e-commerce still accounts for less than 20% of all transactions. So that means that if you look at the bigger macro picture, it looks that e-commerce and Amazon are still in the infancy. They're not, I mean, maybe around, if you want to add an age to it, maybe around just before teenage age, in terms of if you want to compare it to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
potential. So it's still a massive, because despite Amazon accounting for almost 80% of transactions online in the US, that only represents 20% of all transactions in the global market, because there's still a lot of transactions that are being done offline.
yeah,
So it's represent an amazing opportunity for anyone looking to get into e-commerce, and Amazon being the biggest platform in the world outside of China. So
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. speaking of that, I don't want to get into politics, but looking at the current political situation, how do you think, do you still see China as being the main sourcing option, or do you see more a transition from China to other countries, say Vietnam, no, sorry, Vietnam, India, and all the other countries?
Yeah, well, I was actually right this morning interviewing Megla,
Oh,
that we
wow.
both know very well,
Mhm.
and her partner Margaret Jolie, for how to source from India. So I think definitely look into India. Probably we can put a link to our video that would be on YouTube on my channel for sourcing from India, Vietnam, Thailand, Asia, but also look into sourcing locally. That's going to be something
Yes.
big because, yeah, e-commerce is growing and people would also want to buy somehow the products that they find, downstairs. So
Definitely, yeah.
you will have to find a way to sell local products somehow. And this is also starting to happen also in Italy
Mm,
somehow because, I'm from there, so I can tell you and also I can confirm this by telling you that, for example, we have launched at the end of last year, together with my Italian business partner, our branch in Italy,
mm.
and we are pushing it more aggressively, trying to reach out to Italian clients, Amazon sellers. So, and we are providing a direct support to Amazon sellers in Italy. So there is definitely an interest in sourcing locally and sourcing from different marketplaces because, yeah, China is big number one for sourcing any kind of product, but the world is looking also into different market sourcing markets right now.
Sure. So you mentioned that you're helping Italian business. That's interesting. Do you target existing businesses, or do you teach even the normal people to get on e-commerce and Amazon?
No, we don't provide this kind of training courses or teaching programs right now. What we do with my partner, we provide some free content, as I always do. That's my business model. I don't really help you open your Amazon account. I
Mm.
jump in when you already have your products in FBA or you already are selling and you want to scale from 6 to 7 figure, let's say, or you want to scale from 5 to 6 and then 7 figures or even 8 figures, because I'm used to this kind of accounts, accounts with a lot of products, a lot of turnover, and big amount of sales. So that's where I can provide the most valuable support to the sellers. So, but yeah, I don't normally do from the beginning or for new sellers already from zero. I would suggest to go with someone else, especially if they're looking for information or what kind of documents. I can point you the direction, but I normally don't take care of this.
So you're not, at least it's not in your plans for right now in the future to launch, say, a course teaching people how to sell on Amazon, targeting the Italian market?
No, how to start from zero? Definitely not. Probably in the future we will do some content targeting the Italian market just to expand our web presence
Mm.
and to be recognized more as authority in the Italian market. But for me personally, the Italian market and finding Italian client is much of a side uh, business and project for me, because I have my Italian partner who's more focused into finding clients, and I would be the one to make the strategy to close the final deal with my company, etc. Because I'm still very much more oriented into the global side of this business.
Sure. Are Italians more and more embracing e-commerce and Amazon? How common, I mean,
Yeah.
how widely accepted by the general population to just to buy whatever they need from Amazon?
Yeah, so right now for Amazon in Italy, and I guess this is pretty much like everywhere in the new marketplaces. I mean, Italy is not a new marketplaces, but it's booming right now, right?
Right.
Like probably such, like in Spain or France. There is this regrowth of Amazon by force majeure, because people can buy online mostly.
Right.
So there's a lot of hate sometimes, like, oh yeah, Amazon is removing the job from local businesses, but come on, man, you can only buy online right now. Like, what are you
Oh,
gonna do?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so there is this social acceptance, and of course there is criticism everywhere, like everything in this world, because people love to criticize. But it is
European.
yeah, oh my god. But it is taking its step, its place, where it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is where it's going, and more people are starting now also to, to eat this story of get rich quick scheme by selling on Amazon, learn in 3 days. Come on. Me personally, I want to be ethic. I'm not gonna make a course like that ever, because this is an ethic channel with ethic interviews. I'm not gonna provide you a course where I can teach you how to become rich in 1 week. That's not me.
No, and even if we do, it's going to be all white hat. We're not into black hats at all. We know some black hat people. We can refer you to them if people are interested. But
Yeah.
not the purpose of this of this.
Yeah, I love Black Hat. You know why? Because they make me famous. Because I keep talking shit about yeah, I keep talking shit about people who break the rules on Amazon. And it doesn't matter how much they try to block me, I still have my sources to get my information, and I still, get paid to talk about that. Like
How do you, speaking of black hat, that's interesting. How do you see the black hat trend? Do you see it as becoming more and more? So what I'm trying to say is the black hat community still looking to be one or two steps ahead of the all the compliances, or are they still trying to use the same techniques from before and just trying to remix them and repackage them and try
yeah,
to
pretty much. I would say the rule of thumb is this. As long as there is a rule, there will be always someone trying to break it. So that's yeah, definitely.
from China.
Yeah, yeah, also from China, probably. But there are so many people from the States, so many people from Europe, trying to break the rules and pretend like nothing is happening. But this is happening, and they're making money with this, and good for them, whatever. But they don't have a long life ahead, or they will have a big struggle ahead, because Amazon is catching up. Amazon is trying to catch up with them. Also, I had a call with the Amazon sellers lawyer, CJ, just a few weeks ago. Now sellers they have much more power than they had before. They're, way more aggressive. Now you can shut down completely someone. If you know what you're doing and how you're presenting your cards and your communication, you can shut down immediately someone. There are not so many hijacking anymore, for example, because the brand protection is getting real. There is still, a lot of fake reviews and that kind of stuff, and takeover, fake claims, whatever. Those kind of things are still happening, and they will always happen, because you will always have the guy who wants to play dirty. But the protection is increasing. It's becoming much more serious, and I'm telling you, in the future, it's going to be really hard to manipulate the system. Actually,
Sure, absolutely. One thing I'd like to get your thoughts on, and also last year, 2019, we were in Hong Kong, especially during the Rice conference. I met, and I'm sure you met as well, a lot of those platforms that are selling in the Asian market, like Shopee and stuff like that. And Amazon is really pushing to expand into the Asian market. I know from Megla's our common friends podcast that Amazon Singapore is aggressively looking to hire and to get people on board. And even for every seller, they will assign them a manager, which is unheard of in the US market. You need to be doing 1 million in sales a month just even to get a manager. But in Singapore, they're trying to get them a lot because I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago saying that the Southeast Asian market, like Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, all of that represent about almost 300, 350 million consumer base, which is about the same as the entire North American market.
yeah.
So, how do you see that right now? Do you see more and more people flocking into the Asian markets as opposed to going straight to the US market, or so what
It's
do you see, especially
yeah, yeah.
being in Asia? Do you see that, especially from the more mature, more experienced sellers? Do you see that trend or no?
Yeah, because I mean, you're asking me questions that are so fresh in my mind, because right before jumping into this call with you, I just finished a call with Andy from Singapore. You know him?
Yeah, I kind of heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy from Fabulous. So that's what they're doing. They're opening the doors to Southeast Asia to a lot of sellers from America, from Europe, a lot of Western sellers, and they're opening the Western doors to sellers from Southeast Asia. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely suggest you guys to look into our channel because we're going to publish all of those very interesting interviews sourcing from China. We already have the one with CJ. We will have other shows, Southeast Asia, more growth hacking tips for Amazon. Definitely Southeast Asia. So the thing with Southeast Asia is that the mobile penetration is very high. There is a lot of people who own more than two mobile phone.
Sure.
They have, for example, Apple phone and Android, and they use a lot e-commerce. So it's very, very common to buy stuff online. It's also very common to buy stuff and resell it on your social media. That's what people do here. Live selling has been a thing here for already like 3 years or 4 years.
Wow.
Amazon is catching up only now. Live selling started appearing on Amazon, even beta right now, end of last year. It's been a
But
thing in China for more than 4 years.
for those that don't know, what is live selling?
Live selling is when you're pretty much appearing on the platform
Mm-hmm.
and you can, like we're doing, but live, so it's not recorded. It's on live broadcast. You're selling your product. You're showing
Wow.
this,
Okay.
and yeah, then you can do some
Wow.
discount. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Awesome. Okay. Like the shopping
yeah,
center,
yeah.
basically. Oh, like where?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you have your Instagram account or Facebook account, and you will show yourself in front of the camera, and you will say, "Okay, I'm selling this, I'm selling that," and you show around. If you have a shop, you show around your shop, a physical shop, a physical store, and then you can actually connect this with your selling platforms such as Shopify or Lazada, etc. So this kind of things already exist in Southeast Asia and in Asia and in China for quite a long time, actually.
Sure. Oh, that's interesting. I'd be interested into that too. So, you mentioned that you just had a podcast with someone that's selling in Singapore. If you can send me the link to that, I would be personally interested myself to listen to that because I'm very interested in getting to the Asian markets. You can send that to me after, and if you want, I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Because I see tremendous opportunity in the Asian market, especially because from what I heard in this podcast, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that these market have tremendous potential and maybe half of the competition is a lot easier to get going in these markets than say the very mature American market or even the European
Yeah,
market.
yeah. That's the thing. It's much easier right now because there is not such restrictions as you have on Amazon. So you could say, okay, it's less serious. Look at it as Amazon pretty much not even 5 but 6 or 7 years ago. Okay, it
Wow.
was much easier to sell there. There is less brand protection. There is, but also less competition. There's a lot of hungry customers, for good products. So there is definitely a huge potential for any seller. And there is now a lot of sellers incoming from China because they're just smelling the opportunity here, because if you combine together all the population of Southeast Asia, it almost can make China. So that's really a good marketplace.
Yeah. And what kind of product would you say are good for the Southeast Asian market? Would you say low end product? How about basically my question is two folds. One, what kind of products are better suited for the Southeast Asian market? And second, what if you're trying to launch, say, a premium product, premium high quality? Is that something that there's a big enough demand and market for that in the Asian market, or should someone focus on that for the more more mature markets like Europe and North America?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to you have to shift your mindset,
Hmm.
because what works in the US, in Europe, is probably not going to work in Southeast Asia.
Hmm.
So you really have to do your research.
Sure.
It would be like a Southeast Asian seller or a Chinese seller trying to approach the US market without doing a proper research. So you have to do your research first. I literally had this conversation a few hours ago with Andy from Singapore. So yeah, it's still
Okay.
fresh in my mind.
Good.
About the categories, you can pretty much sell anything. Something that is growing really, really fast, and I didn't hear that today, but a couple of weeks ago, are supplements.
Oh, wow.
Supplements are growing really fast, and you can also overcharge a little bit, trying to get above your competition with the higher quality. It is easier to get right now into the right market and trying to communicate a higher value to your customers.
Mhm.
Supplements is really really fast growing right now because there is also an interest among the population, for being fit and healthy right now in Asia. And this is something that is been coming, since a couple of years. I mean, me and you and I, we have lived in China. All right. So when did you arrive in China? It was 2016,
2015, I went there
15.
as a football coach. I had a job offer there. Yeah.
Perfect. So you have a background in sports in China, right? So I arrived in 2014, probably a few months before you, not even a year. And I have seen the shift of interest in social media like Instagram and WeChat of girls and guys about their fitness, how about how they look. Really, that was the year 2014, 2015. So now there is this shift again in the mindset of looking good, taking care of yourself. So the market is changing right now. So this is something you should consider when you're thinking about what kind of product you should sell. And then of course cosmetics always work very well, especially if you source them in South Korea. And then you really have to do your research. Don't just think that because a product is selling super hot in the US or Europe, or because it's made in Italy or made in Germany, will sell very well. You have to do your research. You have to see the habits of the consumers here.
Absolutely. That's common sense. Yeah. Yeah, if you have any resources on selling in the Asian markets, I would be highly interested myself from my own, because I'm looking
Yeah,
closely into those markets, and also because I'm sure the listeners would be interested too. Because even though this is not an e-commerce channel, people want to learn about what's the up and coming trends in the e-commerce world, especially now with the current situation in the world. E-commerce is booming, so people want to look
yeah,
into that. Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I think we met. We've known for what 2 3 years now, and we met in Hong Kong. And at
yeah.
the time, you were the guy that was doing, speaking at all these events like global sources and doing events. And
Yeah, I think it was Global from Asia where we met
yes,
first,
yes,
Mike Michelini, in
yes,
2018, I think, or 17.
yeah. But all these years that we've known each other, I never knew that you had a hidden side of you, which is the DJ part, because we've otherwise, I mean, when I first found out that you were doing DJing, I was like, what? Davide is a DJ. Why did you tell me when we were in Hong Kong? We could have done some great parties there, man. But
Yeah, and I can tell you because I'm a very focused person.
uh,
And when I decided to put that on the side, I literally put that completely apart from my life. I didn't touch, DJ equipment. I didn't make music for 5 years because I wanted to focus 100% on my business. And I've been missing it so bad,
yes,
really so bad. And that's also the reason why I moved in Phuket, because I know that Phuket is a party place,
sure.
and you can still live very well if you have your income with online business. Actually, let me tell you the truth. This is something I want to disclose here. Most of the digital nomads, they in Thailand. So okay, most digital nomads would not go in Thailand because most digital nomads in Asia, they will go to Bali. Okay, we all know that. That's the digital nomad paradise. If you want to go to Thailand, you would move to Chiang Mai because Chiang Mai is cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. Yes.
It's a lot cheaper and it's more friendly for digital nomads. You have a lot of co-working space. Now, Phuket is the most expensive place in Thailand
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to real estate, to drinking, eating, entertainment,
Almost
everything.
European level prices. Yes.
Yeah, it is. So digital nomads don't really stay here. So what I say, there are very few online entrepreneurs here like me. I am trying to build a community, but it's really, really hard because there is not a lot of online entrepreneurs. Most of them stay in Bangkok or in Chiang Mai. So you have to be good to live in Phuket, and or you have to have a secondary kind of, or even third kind of investment or income.
But this is
And I
good.
knew,
But this is good.
sorry.
Sorry to cut you off. This is good because the people that are there are a lot higher caliber of people, so you can meet some more advanced people who can really network?
It depends. Not really for e-commerce. There is nothing for e-commerce here because they would all stay in Chiang Mai or Bangkok because of the mutual connection. Here, you mostly meet entertainment and party and real estate.
Ah,
So because I'm also a real estate investor, okay, and I also do trading and stock and cryptocurrency, then I thought, okay, Phuket is the place for me. Also because I want to get back into music and partying. This is something that I was missing. I've been working super hard for 5 years, including the times that I was working in China for other companies in house as marketing director, and I did it. I'm super happy. I'm completely happy with the results that I had. And now it's time for me, to be able to combine the entrepreneurial life, my company, and also throwing some parties, but still looking at that on a business point of view, because I'm not just a DJ. Now I'm a party organizer. Now, I created one of the newest, actually the newest group of party organizers in Phuket. And because I'm the last one to come, because of course after COVID no one would come to Phuket because parties are shut down, most of them. But I definitely approached this as a business. I started investing my money, and now it's coming back. So I mean, we could also talk about, making this kind of business probably in the next episode, because this is almost 1 hour already, but this could be really interesting.
absolutely. I would love to learn more about that. It's because it's all about, expanding your mind, expanding, learning about different models and stuff. And I would have never thought, sure, I knew that DJing can be a business, but, you know, something that's especially
It is entertainment. It is look, my I think me and you, we talked about this already before. My very big ambition would be right now, not right now, maybe in the near future, to help other artists, other DJs to be more noticeable, to work on their personal brand, because most of the artists, they have no idea how to make business, how to run their personal brand. So they can only do it when they have an agency behind them or a manager, but
that would be
most of them, they can't afford that.
that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. They need help, but they cannot afford it. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
a catch 20. But I think that could be an amazing business to start to out musicians, DJs to really get the exposure and also help them build a business and let them do what they love, which is producing music, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely talk about that in the future. Yeah. So yeah, the question is, so what cause would you say you're passionate about and that you would like to either currently involved or you would like to be involved in the future to do good for people that are, in, in need with your businesses or anything like that?
Yeah, so just to be super honest with you, I love to keep my business very ethical,
Mhm.
and I always follow, what is fair, what is just for everyone. This is why since the very beginning I've been exposing what is going on with the black hat. And to be honest with you, I started gaining some exposure globally because I was pretty much the first one who has been living in China and uncovering all the shit that was going on, really. Absolutely having no shame and no fear of what could happen to me or to my company. I just put out in the world, and I told the world what they wanted to know. And I think I probably keep on doing that because I would like to help, other business entrepreneurs who are in need, who don't know where they should turn around, even just by giving free advices, free content, free consulting. There is still something. It's a good starting point, because sometimes having the right information can save your business, and so it can save pretty much your life. So I think that this is how I can contribute to this world. And so far we never even collected emails on my website. We never asked for anything. Our blog is such an amazing source of free information that anyone can have. We never ask for nothing, not even for the email. Seriously.
And one thing I can add that people that don't know you, maybe they not know it, and I will be very honest. I'm gonna say that not just because you're my friend, but also you have a habit of writing some of the longest, most detailed posts ever. Like whenever I see a post from David, I say, okay, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna read that for when I have a half an hour to read because it's you go so much in detail. Honestly, each of your posts can be a guide.
Yeah, it is. I know. It could be a free. It's a free ebook,
Yes,
really.
yes.
I,
So
And you have no idea how many people actually copied my content,
I
sometimes
can
without even
imagine.
giving attribution. Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm sure they just add a cover and just try to sell it or use it as a freebie on their email list. I can see that,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
people.
I mean, you could easily take a random one of my blog posts, especially the biggest one that are over 10,000 words, and divide them into five sub, blogs or guides, and you could probably sell them. So,
Or at the very least, use them as freebies for your
yeah,
list. Oh yeah,
yeah.
sorry, that's something that I wanted to say because your guides are some of the best. So if someone wants to reach out to you, David, what's the best way to do so?
Yeah, so you can find me. Depends what kind of David you want to reach out. If you want to reach out to the business David, you can send me an email, Davide or info@wearegrowthhack.com. Our website is wearegrowthhack.com. How you read it. You can find me on LinkedIn. Then from business to personal life, in the middle there is Facebook, where I share a lot of business related topics. It's 70% of my Facebook content is business, and 30% is personal and party life and events. And then Instagram is mostly events and DJing and music. So if you want to connect with me more on the artist side, or if you want to, stalk me and see what I do, you can just find me on Instagram. It's Davide Nicolucci. And also, if you want to connect with me on Clubhouse, Davide Nicolucci.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have any parting tips for anyone looking to get into the Amazon business right now, or any any tips on that?
Yeah, this is the tip that I always give, especially right now. Yeah, like you said, be different, be unique. And I know this is, what they've been teaching you at the marketing school when you were 21, but this is the rule number one: be different, differentiate, solve a problem to the customers, and you will pretty much win. Because if you're not solving a problem, then you just go do something else.
Yes, so true. And the differentiation part applies now even more than ever before because there's so much more, so many more competition now. But by just doing a little bit of a few things differently, that's going to allow you to be very different from others. All right. And if anyone wants to get into the DJing business, do you have any tips for them?
They can definitely. I think I will start actively posting again free content on my channels. For example, my YouTube is it's all for free. My blog is all for free for Amazon. We pretty much give like, you could get a free course on my blog. I never really wanted to put it all together because I don't want to sell it, so that's free. I could do something for free for my fellow DJs. You don't know how to market yourself, how to sell yourself, how to play at that big club you always wanted to play. Well, I can have some good tips for you.
Do you have like a Facebook page targeting DJs currently or no?
I had mine that I'm not using anymore because I really don't have the time. Now
Mhm.
I'm managing my party pages to promote the events, but with DJ thing, also because Facebook, I don't use it that much anymore. I use more Instagram because
Mm,
I find, I mean, localized in Phuket, the
sure.
best way to reach people is with Instagram. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, David, that's been amazing connecting with you again as usual. Pleasure.
Thanks.
Stay safe, stay awesome, brother, and we'll catch you soon. And hopefully, before the end of the year, we can party again together in Phuket.
Definitely. I hope so. Or
Take care.
somewhere else.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.